Today, we are going to build a working framework for safety, compliance, and crisis management in one of the most volatile environments in healthcare, the emergency department. An emergency is defined by the patient and family's perception of the crisis, not just the clinical diagnosis. Effective emergency management has to go beyond treating life-threatening conditions. It pairs clinical intervention with psychological stabilization. The patient's subjective experience of fear and uncertainty is, functionally, the actual emergency you're managing alongside the physiology. The ED nurse is the ultimate stabilizing force, and that role rests on 4 disciplines running simultaneously: specialized assessment, rapid triage and continuous clinical prioritization, crisis monitoring, vigilant tracking of evolving life-threatening conditions, interdisciplinary teamwork with physicians, specialists, and security, and patient and family support, real-time education paired with psychological stabilization. Controlling clinical chaos means controlling 3 distinct environments at once: legal and privacy frameworks, consent, HIPAA, and EMTALA mandates, biological and environmental risk, pathogen exposure, chemical hazards and PPE barriers, and human volatility, verbal escalation, physical threats, and structural security. Secure all 3, and you protect both the patient and yourself. Consent pathways have to be clear before you initiate treatment. If the patient is conscious and competent, you proceed with standard consent to treat. If they're unconscious or critical, you proceed under the implied consent exception. Either pathway, the critical mandate is the same: rigorously document treatments administered, specific times, patient response, and discharge condition. High-stakes environments call for a tiered approach to HIPAA privacy. Standard protocol restricts EHR access on a strict need-to-know basis. Elevated need means honoring specific patient requests for extra privacies during sensitive triage or treatment. And maximum security, using alias identities, protects victims of violence from being located by a perpetrator. EMTALA legally mandates screening and stabilization for every emergency complaint, and it moves through 4 gates. Gate 1, arrival. The patient presents with a complaint. Gate 2, medical screening, mandatory for every patient regardless of ability to pay. Gate 3, stabilization, the clinical interventions needed to resolve the immediate crisis. Gate 4, proper transfer. If stabilization exceeds your facility's capability, strict transfer procedures and documentation follow. The greatest biological risks come from invasive procedures and delayed identification. That includes biological pathogens, hepatitis, HIV, tuberculosis, COVID-19, and environmental hazards like toxic chemicals, gases, and radiation. The key insight: your vulnerability peaks during invasive procedures, so assume exposure risk from the moment of triage, not after. Early identification is what closes the gaps in transmission-based precautions. Layer 1 is universal screening and physical distancing. Layer 2 is rigorous hand hygiene and surface decontamination. Layer 3 is immediate implementation of transmission-based precautions once risk is identified. Layer 4 is strict adherence to PPE standards, including N95 respirators and NIOSH guidelines. Clinical and environmental pressures breed violence in the ED. The drivers include substance use and acute intoxication, gang activity spilling over from the community, untreated or escalating psychiatric conditions, and systemic overcrowding that causes prolonged wait times and frustration. Recognizing these root causes early is what lets you intervene before an incident escalates. Your security response has to match the rising curve of patient agitation. Early phase: implement de-escalation techniques and establish firm verbal boundaries. Escalating phase: activate environmental security measures, calling security officers or triggering panic alarms. Phase 3: imminent physical danger. Execute safe management through strict adherence to Joint Commission restraint standards. Environmental safety depends on interconnected physical safeguards, backed by continuous training. Access control: locked units managing patient and visitor flow, screening, metal detectors strategically placed at primary entrances, rapid response, panic alarms accessible at every triage and charting station, and egress, designated clear escape routes for clinical staff. Biological threats and behavioral threats require parallel defensive strategies. Both start with screening, symptom screening for pathogens like TB or COVID, and watching for agitation and escalating language on the behavioral side. Both have a warning stage, isolation and PPE versus de-escalation and spatial boundaries. And both have an ultimate escalation, transmission-based precautions, or joint commission restraints and security. In both scenarios, survival depends on early identification and immediate application of the right barrier. True emergency management integrates all three domains we've covered: clinical, triage monitoring and life-saving treatment, legal, consent, EMTALA and HIPAA protocols, and safety, PPE, de-escalation, and security preparedness. That integration is what makes the master emergency nurse. You are the front line, prepared for the unpredictable, equipped for the chaotic. In summary, on the clinical and legal side, the ED nurse's specialized role centers on crisis assessment, rapid prioritization, and interdisciplinary teamwork. EMTALA mandates that every patient be screened and stabilized, regardless of ability to pay, and rigorous documentation must track treatment times, patient response, and discharge condition for legal compliance. On the safety and risk side, ED nurses face high risk of disease exposure from invasive procedures, HIV, TB, COVID-19 among them. Standardized precautions, including N95s and NIOSH guidelines, protect against transmission. And managing workplace violence relies on de-escalation, metal detectors, and joint commission restraint standards. Together, these 6 pillars are what hold up safe, compliant emergency care,